Okay, this is Sean Cockrell, Pecan Peak Ranch is my place here, and working with my dog Rebel, who is he's a Blue Lacy. He's a great dog. He's a great buddy, best companion you ever want to be around. But he's not functional as a field retriever right now. He, like a lot of Lacys, he's not, just a natural retriever, but he likes to go get stuff. He started off just going to get things and running off with them, and really didn't mess with it on land. And that's one of the big issues we're going to address today. He goes in water to get stuff. The dog loves the water, so he'll go get whatever you throw in the water, but generally what he would do, he'd try to get out of the water and run away with it. And so if you were waiting for him on the side of the tank, he would come towards you maybe and then skirt off to one side and swim off. So maybe some of you have seen this in your Lacys or potentially other dogs. So what I want to look at is a way to maybe get him a little more functional in the field. I'm not trying to make him a perfectly polished bird dog, but what I'd really like to have him do is get birds. And that's the biggest issue I've got. A lot of Lacys love fur, but they don't care too much about feathers. It's not always true, but with this dog it is. And he is really disinterested in a dove. Now he smells them, I've seen him, he's been exposed to them a little bit, but like yesterday I took him out hunting with me thinking I could just encourage him to pick one up. And when you throw the land aspect, which he doesn't care for as much, he'd rather retrieve in the water, then you throw it in on land, and then you put a real bird in there, he just had no interest in picking it up. So what I'm going to try to do is try to get him to perform because I want him to. So we're going to start with the game of fetch. We're going to go down here to the tank right here at the house where I can work with the dog in a controlled situation. We're going to start out in the water, and we're going to move to the land and kind of get him working there. And then we're going to come back to the water. Then we're going to throw an actual live dove in it. And just depending on how he does, we may move to some actual firing some blanks, introduce gunfire. Although one thing that we have going for us with Rebel, he's very gun steady. He just sits by me while I'm hunting. That's not an issue. He's really calm, no problem around a gun, doesn't get scared. But we want him to learn to associate that gunfire with fun in the game of retrieving. So let's go down the tank and see what we can do. Okay, so we're walking under the tank here, and I'll just show you it's almost dry. We've had a really dry year here in 2011, the worst in recorded history in the area. But let me see if I can flip the camera around and show you the tank. Alright, you have to stop recording to flip it around. Okay, so we just have a little tank here, just real close to the house. Easy to just come down with the dogs training. I have here, a couple days ago we shot a pigeon. There's a dove watering a tank right here. It's also nice if you can actually have live drills. We have a number of dove that have been watering down in this tank. So this is what I was working another one of our dogs on 2 days ago. So let's go down here and see if we can get Rebel kind of moving up to a real bird. That's been a big problem. I've gotten him to where he likes the game of fetch. Got to move him to land. He didn't really like fetching on land as much as he does water. Then we got to get him to live birds, introduce gunfire, and then maybe by this afternoon he'll actually do some good on the hunt. So Rebel is pretty good at playing fetch in the water. He's always loved the water, so that's been the way we get him to retrieve, is just take him to water. So we've just got a little duck decoy here, dummy. So let's see if we can't get him going. Rebel! Fetch! Slow start, a little bit of moss. Shouldn't be a problem. Okay. No problem. We're having a lot of success with this dog in the water. You'll see he'll do very well. I'm not going to make you watch the whole training session, but we'll give him about 4 or 5 in the water just to get him warmed up. We worked with him this morning as well. Rebel, here. Good boy, good boy. As you can see, he's not bringing it to my hand, but we'll finish that stuff off later. This is close enough for hunting. Fetch. Doing pretty good on his water retrieves. Okay, so we're going to go down, we're going to move over to the land and hit him on a couple of land retrieves. I'm actually right over this way. in a tree over here, kind of away from the tank. I've got just some duck and pheasants that we use for throwing onto the land. And because a lot of dogs, they like playing in the water, especially when it's hot. Rebel, here. Come here, Rebel. Especially when it's hot. As far as, just going on the land, you need to get them trained there too. Rebel, here. Come on, Rebel. Good boy. Good boy. Do one more, see if we can't get him bring it over to hand. I'll focus on the dog. Rebel, fetch. Pretty windy out here today. You see, it's not a big deal. Getting a bird out of the water is not a huge, not necessarily specifically bred retriever for puddle shooting ducks and dove and things like that. So, Lacy's plenty capable. You just got to get him to do what you want. It may not be 100% natural. Rebel, here. Come here. Good boy. Good boy. See, now he's actually coming in my direction as opposed to running off before. Good boy, Rebel. So before I had a problem with him actually just running off in the other direction. Rebel. Fetch. And he's a strong swimmer. I think the only difference, I think he's just as strong a swimmer as just about any dog. Maybe not one in a lab or a Newfoundland, but if it's cold, he's got to wear a vest. Although he doesn't want to sometimes. I'll make him, just because these dogs don't have any fat content. We'll be able to get him to do some basic retrieves here. Rebel, here. Come on, Rebel. Come here, buddy. Come on. Come on, Rebel. Good boy. He's probably pretty tired from this morning. We ran about 10 miles this morning. Good boy, Rebel. Rebel, here. Good boy. Good boy, Rebel. Okay. Let's go over to land and try that. So here, we've got just another little spot over here under the trees. You can see the tank is just behind us. We're not going to throw it towards the tank. We're trying to get the dog to move to retrieving on land. In this case, I know a lot of times it's the opposite. But in this case, this dog, Rebel, will retrieve in the water, but he's not really doing much retrieving on land. So we're going to try to take him right from his water retrieving right over here to more land retrieval, and we're going to throw away from the tank. We're just going to throw it up in the shade. It's about 100 degrees today and pretty windy. Okay, Rebel, fetch. There you go. I see he's showing a lack of interest there. Rebel. Rebel. Come here, boy. Rebel. Try to see if we can't get him to fetch this. Come on, Rebel. Fetch. Good boy. Good boy, Rebel. Come here. Good boy. Good boy. So you saw before he had definitely a disinterest, but we were able to just kind of use my voice and verbal reward to get him excited and get him back after this dummy on land, which he doesn't want to mess with. Kind of got him excited. So he's focused on this dummy. Good boy, Rebel. Rebel. Fetch. Okay. So now we've got him working on land. Good. Good. That'll be enough. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to go over and try to work him on a real pigeon. Rebel. Here. Good boy. Try to work him on a live bird, not a live bird, but a dead bird, but a real bird, which has been a major mental block for him. Took him dove hunting yesterday. He wouldn't pick a dove up off the ground. It's just pointless to sit there and yell at the dog and try to encourage him in the field. The best thing with any dog is try to recreate the situation at home where things are safe and they understand more about their environment as opposed to out in the field with a lot of guns going off and stuff. So let's go over here and see if we can't work him with the real pigeon. Okay, so we are back over the tank, the house tank here, Pecan Peak Ranch, and I have a pigeon that we shot the other night when we were dove hunting. Went ahead and shot it so I could work my dogs with it without wasting the game meat. Of course, you can't eat pigeon. I have a buddy named Monty who loves it. I think it's called squab or something like that, but I don't eat it. So here we're going to use this pigeon. See if we can't get Rebel working on a real live bird or a dead bird, which he has not done before. Rebel! So we're going to we're going to do a dirty trick on him. This is a game that we've been playing with, docking dummies for retriever training. Now we're going to introduce this live bird, which he doesn't understand or like or want to put in his mouth into one of his favorite games. Here he comes. Okay, here he comes. Had to get some running out of him. Okay, so he thinks I'm throwing his docking dove or docking decoy in the water. But really, it's a dead pigeon. A real pigeon, though. Okay, Rebel, fetch. So I'm just taking the same game that we've done repetitively, and I'm introducing a new item into the game. Good boy, Rebel. Good boy. Good boy. And I had a video of him not touching a real bird yesterday. Good boy, Rebel. Good boy. Come here, Rebel. Good boy. Come here, Rebel. Good boy. Good boy. Come here. Good boy, Rebel. Good. Now he's not bringing it to hand again, of course, but okay, so obviously we're going to ideally need to try to get him to move to retrieving, this real pigeon on land. And then, hopefully by tonight, I can actually shoot a dove and have him come back and get it. All right, Rebel, fetch. Good boy. Lots of verbal encouragement. I don't use any treats. I don't have room for him in my pockets. He doesn't need it. He's already eaten. Come on, Rebel. Good boy. Rebel. Now he's kind of going back to his old habits of skirting me and kind of swimming away from me when he comes back with the new object. So I'm going to try to get him back into a direct retrieval. Rebel, here. Come on. Come on, boy. Good boy, Rebel. Come on. Come on, Rebel. Good boy. Come on. Come on, Rebel. Come on. He doesn't know what's going on. He's kind of going back on his old habits. Rebel, come here. Come here. Good boy. Come here. Good boy. He's saying, what is this in my mouth? What is this thing? I want to go over here and take it to the side and look at it. I'm not going to let him do that. We're going to keep the game going. Make it a little more challenging. Rebel, fetch. Okay, so we got him working okay on the tank with our real pigeon here. So now we're going to make it more challenging, and we're going to do something that he doesn't necessarily care for, which is retrieving on land, because to him retrieving is all about swimming, and he loves to swim. Let's see if we can get down here out of the wind. But what we're going to do is we're going to introduce this new object into the game, see if we can't get him picking this pigeon up on land by command, and then when I take him to the dove field tonight, hopefully I can get him to retrieve a dove for me. Rebel, fetch. Rebel, fetch. You didn't see where I threw it, but hopefully you can wind it. Dead bird. Dead bird, Rebel. Rebel, dead bird. Fetch. Dead bird, come on. Rebel. Rebel, come on. Rebel, come here. I'm going to try to do too much at once. Okay, let's get the pigeon. Let's go back. I'm excited about the pigeon. Let's go back to the same exact place where we were standing when we threw the duck and pheasants here. Do everything exactly the same. So we want him to just almost go back into an automatic motion here. Okay, Rebel. Fetch. So we're just throwing this pigeon right up there where we were throwing that duck and pheasant. Good boy. Here. Good boy. I couldn't get him to pick up a dove 2 days ago. Or yesterday. Rebel, here. Come on. Fetch. Fetch it up. So he's still not interested in picking it up. Come on, Rebel. Fetch. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on, boy. Good boy. Good boy. Rebel, fetch it up. Come on. So he quit on me. Okay. That's all right. It's a gradual process. Sometimes do something the dog doesn't naturally want to do. Okay. Here you go, Rebel. Rebel, fetch. Just a little toss there. Good boy. Here. Here. There he goes. Here. Rebel, here. Good boy, Rebel. Good boy. Good boy, Rebel. Good boy. Good boy. So see, it's interesting. I had a lot of problem when I was just teaching him to work with the dummies, with him skirting to the side of me or taking stuff and running away from me. And then when I introduce this new object that he doesn't like, which is a real bird, he seems to start doing that old habit again. So that's just interesting to note. But what we're going to try to do is get him just as accurate and dependable with this live bird as we were with the dock and decoys, and then we should be able to take him to the field. I'm not saying he's going to do great, but maybe you can get the next bird that if it falls, so I don't have to walk over and get it. Fetch. Here you go. Here. Here. Rebel, here. Here. Good boy. Stop a little short. That's what I mean about getting the kinks out of the game. Oh, he's getting a little bird aggression, so that's good. So it may be possible that, well, this dog seems to not care about feather. It may be when we're done with his training this season, it may be possible that he's actually excited about feathers. I'm just not sure, but I do feel like we'll be able to get him to be a functional retriever in the field. All right, Rebel. Fetch. Good boy, good boy. A little bit more excitement each time. Oh, this works nicely. Come on, Rebel. Good boy. Here. Stopping short. He's kind of checking out the new item, seeing what it is. Oh, there we go. That's what we want to see. We just don't want him to eat the birds now. He starts loving them. I was thinking we would not have any problem with this dog chewing and eating birds since he didn't like them. But it looks like maybe a change of tune. But, good boy, Rebel. Here. It's one of the things I like about teaching these, especially Lacy's on those docking decoys. Rebel, here. Fetch. Because they don't chew up those docking dummies like they would a live bird. Come here, Rebel. Here. Just chewing the bird. Just want to be patient and just try to recreate the behavior as many times in a row as I can without, just getting them really bored and frustrated. Okay, Rebel. Fetch. Good boy. Good boy, Rebel. Here. Here. Good boy. Here. Come on, Rebel. Here. Let's don't chew on it. Good boy. Easy, easy. Got my finger a little bit there. Another thing with these Lacy's, you want to make sure you get their mouths real gentle. They do have sharp teeth, really fast reflexes. So you want them to respect your hand. Okay, Rebel. Fetch. Good boy. Good boy, Rebel. Here. Come on, Rebel. Come here. Good boy. Good boy, Rebel. Here. Come on, Rebel. Rebel, here. Okay, so seems to be chewing with the bird now. So I think what we may do is go back to the decoy for the dummy and then see if we can get the kinks out of this, because we don't want him to sit there and chew on the bird. That would make him non-usable in the field as a retriever. So I don't think it's as bad or so bad that we can't work it out. Okay, Rebel. Fetch. Here. Come here, Rebel. Here. Good boy. Good boy. Right in my hand, Rebel. Good boy, Rebel. Good boy. That's perfect. That's perfect. Good boy. Good boy. Fetch. Good boy, Rebel. Here. Come on. Let's do that again. Come on. Rebel, here. Come on. Come on, Rebel. Good boy. Good boy. Come on. Finish it out. No, don't bury it. That's the thing about these Lacy's. You get some funky behavior like that. Come on. Good boy. Right to my hand. Wouldn't touch a dove yesterday. Good boy, Rebel. Fetch. Come on, Rebel. Good boy. Come here, buddy. Good boy. Good boy. Rebel, here. Give. Ah. Work on that give command. All right. Fetch. Good boy, Rebel. Good boy. Fetch it up. Come here, buddy. Rebel. Here. Rebel. Hey. Fetch. Let's go. A little bit of forcefulness. We can kind of push him now because he's getting into the hang of things. Rebel. Here. Rebel. Hey. No. Fetch. Come on. Come on, Rebel. All right. So we had a failure. I just think that what we've done today is prove that we can make a functional field retriever out of this dog. We just need to keep him from developing any bad habits. There he stopped and was trying to chew on this pigeon. And we don't want him to stop and chew on the bird where they find it. That's just not acceptable, obviously. Fetch. Good boy, Rebel. Come on, Rebel. Here. Good boy. So I'm just trying to work with his rhythm. Good boy. Here. Good boy. So he brought it closer. At least he didn't stop and chew on it there. So what I mean by working with his rhythm, I want to position him for success. I want to throw the bird in a way and keep his momentum going in a way that he just naturally wants to bring it right back to me, and then reward him and not get him in situations where he's tending to, stall and chew on the bird. Fetch. Good boy, Rebel. Here. Rebel. let's go. Here, Rebel. Okay. So he knows the here command, and he knew I was serious, but he's not bringing the bird back, and that's what we have to teach him that the word fetch means. So I ought to be able to demand him fetch it, and him pick it up and bring it back. Fetch! Fetch! Rebel! He's seeing his discipline, and so he's dropping the bird. Rebel, fetch it up. Fetch. Good boy. Fetch. I think right about now is when the dog is sort of getting tired, losing interest. We worked with him this morning. Well, not totally losing interest. Fetch. Rebel, fetch. Come here, buddy. What I don't want to do is sit here and fight with them. You want to get it to where they're naturally doing what you want and then work from there out. It doesn't do any good for me to sit there and like try to demand that he pick it up or anything like that, especially when I'm able to get him to pick it up sometimes. I just want to reinforce the times that he does it right. Rebel, fetch. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Come here, Rebel. Good boy. Here. Good boy. Good boy. Fetch. Good boy. Good boy, Rebel. Good boy. There we go. All right, Rebel. Fetch. Good boy. Come here, Rebel. Here. A little bit of work to be done. There we go. Win some, you lose some. In time, with practice, I'm pretty confident we're going to be able to get him to work with birds. Okay, so since we were able to get Rebel working on land, the real pigeon, what we're going to do is we're going to, just to kind of keep him interested, keep him excited, he's sort of losing concentration, starting to chew on the bird, starting to stall a little bit. We're going to go back to what I know he likes. We know that this dog loves to retrieve in the water. To him, the game of retrieving is all about swimming. So that's more important to him. So let's see what we can do here. Rebel, fetch. Good boy. As you can see, just like most of the stock tanks around here, this one's barely surviving. 2011, worst drought in this area in history of recorded time. Good boy, Rebel. So we're just going to do some fun little drills with the real pigeon here at the tank. Good boy, Rebel. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. Rebel. Here. Rebel. Here. Good boy. Good boy. Rebel. Fetch. Good boy, Rebel. Good boy. So retrieving is not that big a deal, but you need the dog to do certain things. They need to obviously be workable in the field, convenient to be around, safe to be around. But they need to be able to pick up a bird and bring it back. It's really not a matter of athleticism. It's just sort of a task that needs to be done. Rebel, give. So there, if you can get them to bring it to your hand, I mean that's pretty good. Sometimes a functional field retrieval will just kind of drop it at your feet, and you're not going to win any contests at field trials. But if that dog is easy to be around in the field and your best buddy and picks up your birds, that's a winner. Fetch. The Rebel's plenty strong swimmer. Most of our Lacys are. Some like water more than others. There is a tendency of some Lacys, not to care for water. We've seen a little bit of that, but for the most part, in this heat, they tend to enjoy it. Rebel, here. Come on, Rebel. Here, Rebel. So he's getting a little bit lazy. So I'd say we're ready to take him hunting. We'll do a little bit more practice with him on this bird, but we started this process this morning after I took Rebel hunting yesterday, dove hunting, and he was pulling gun steady, very easy in the field, didn't mess with any of the cows, the horses where we were hunting, but he wouldn't bring a dove back to me. So we're just trying to get through that and take him hunting again tonight.